Okay, Reggie. Before we get started on this week's segments, is there anything that you wanted to speak in or speak on or talk about before we get started?
No, this once again, the second time, this one, I know we're still in the month of Sagittarius. Uh, and so y'all keep on having a good birthday and the people that's born in the month of December. And y'all start getting ready for holidays. Don't let the holidays slip up on y'all, and be careful with y'all drinking and driving, because y'all know the police is out there looking for y'all that like to drink and drive during this time of the year. And then wanted to give a shout out to a guy that's a big supporter of Bomb First. I know since I've been around, I can't say day one because I'm not a day oneer, but a guy by the name of D Ham in the comment section. His name is Donald Hammonds. And he got a book that he self-published and put out. He don't even know that I'm doing this. I just wanted to shout it out because, man, this dude, when I was in, well, y'all know when I had to go on vacation, every month I think when he got paid, he put $30 on my books, and I always appreciated that. And Big D Hammond, his book is Cover Up the Guardian, Guidon, Phase 1. If y'all can just go out and support that brother, military dude, and coach, got a daughter that's doing real good in high school basketball, and a good brother. If y'all want to go and read a book, for those of y'all like to read books, if y'all like me, then you can hide a book, because if you want to hide something from me, you write it down, because Reggie don't do no reading. But anyway, other than that, John, let's get into it, man. Hope you having a safe holidays, because I know you got that beautiful daughter that's now they old enough to understand Christmas and know what Christmas means. So get ready.
I wanted to talk to you to start and talk about what Warren G had said on Drink Champs, and then Suge had kind of reiterated about the next Snoop having like a Nextel phone and hearing play by play what happened in Vegas.
You know what? See, I hate responding to stuff because everybody always want to make it like Reg always trying to correct Suge's truth and all of that. I'm just trying to put it out as I remember it, and go back and forth. I'm not saying everything I say is 100% accurate, and I'm not saying everything Suge is saying is inaccurate. I'm just telling it how I remember it, or Snoop or anybody else. So I don't call another person, because when we did that video and talked about it, and I know that nigga probably at home smoking on something good and watching football, but I don't call him because he was like, Reg. He was like, man, what are they talking about? But I ain't gonna coach it. I'm gonna let him tell the story. Y'all know Big Flossy from the LBC. He was one of him and Big C Style and Trey D and all of them were one of Snoop's closest confidants back in the '96. So I'll let him tell the story of what happened on that, and then I'll add to the part of the story about who has radios and who didn't. And matter of fact, I'll tell who had radios before I call, while I'm trying to get Flossy on the phone. About to start calling him right now. And then, but the people that had radios, y'all, were Reggie and Suge and Norris Anderson, who was the general manager, who was the coordinator, really like Suge's assistant. And, he was really the connector at the time, Norris and Roy. If you ever hear those two names, Norris Anderson and Roy Tesfaye. So they had a radio that was stationed at the office. Reggie, Suge had a radio. The homeboys, I think it would have been Neckbone for sure, Buntry for sure, Tupac did not have a radio, even though we put it out there like he did have one in there. That was actually Suge's radio. Tupac security, whoever was assigned to him, had a radio. And Tupac would always take it or have it and all of that, because Tupac wasn't the type to be walking around with a radio. Same thing with Snoop. His security guys, he had two good security that was always with him, named Kenneth Archer and Marcus Thompson. They had radios. And then we had a radio that was the station at the studio for this, whatever security was on. But it wasn't like every security guard had a radio and every artist had a radio. It wasn't that way, y'all. It was mainly for the homeboys so they can communicate with each other. Because y'all got to remember back then, cell phones was expensive as hell. And Nextel that just came out with cell phones. They had this thing where you had the two-way radio capability and the group talk capability. I know y'all got something out there where I talked about didn't have capability at the time. I forget which one it was, if it was just direct talking or where it was the group chat talk. But I know they had those two options because I remember those two things. But there was some other feature that was missing that in that damn documentary that Carpethead them put out they tried to talk about. And said that was in there. And I always said, didn't even have that feature at the time. But I forget what it is because I can't watch idiot stuff. But Snoop did not have a signed radio even though people that was with him did. Great call for Flossy right quick. Let him tell the story. Y'all hear from Big Flossy. And we go from there.
Yo, what's up, man?
What up, baby? What up, Big Flossy? How you doing?
Oh, man, chillaxing. You doing, watching football and blowing. You know what I do on Sunday. Chilling. What's up, John? Is John out there with you?
John actually on the phone with us. But your boy, the one you was hanging out at the store with, he's the one here with me. Yep.
Yeah. So what's going on, Reggie?
I'm calling you, man, because our boy Suge Knight. My boy Suge Knight.
It's funny. I listened to one of his little episodes. I've been trying to get into it. I just ain't had time to sit down and listen to it. But yeah, I listened to a little bit of one of his shit.
Okay. Matter of fact, shout out to your clothing company again because we want people to go and pick up with that.
Yeah, Player Made Clothing Company. I seen Reg the shirt. Reg, you're supposed to take the shirt out. Even if you don't wear it, you're supposed to open the shirt up. Shout out to John, I hope you got one. I know you don't be seen, but yeah, wear my shirt, man. Yeah. Shout out to the Player Made Clothing Company. That's my clothing company, man. Trying to do a little something with it.
Yeah. Good luck with that, man. Sir. I hope you be my boy's FUBU one day so I can be like, Flossy, your boy need a loan.
You know how I go. And hey, LA need a new mogul anyway. We need a new mogul.
Exactly. Because the ones we got right now are clowns. But anyway.
Exactly.
Except LeBron James. I still love LeBron. Matter of fact, shout out to the Lakers last night. Y'all did that thing. I hope y'all win the real one, but still shout out. And I'm glad y'all got the first one.
That's a good look.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Flossy, what we calling you here on Bomb First for today is, of course, that segment that you called me on. You was like, what the hell are they talking about? Well, I don't know where my boy Suge going at. It sounds to me like he's trying to throw subliminals at Snoop and them about being involved because of the Crip car, C-A-R, not car, C-A-R, the Crip car, having something to do with the murder of Tupac, that he's trying to act like that's why they wasn't there and that they had something to do with it. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Everybody get mad at me about that. So I'm trying not to, but man, I comprehend shit. Y'all just don't know. I comprehend. And it sounds like he going that route. And so could you just explain to us, because I know you told me you were there. I didn't know you were there and how that went down until you called me and told me this week. Recap it for me right quick.
All right, well, shit. The night Pac got killed, man, we was all together, man. We was over at Warren G house.
Who was we?
I can tell you everybody was in the house. When Lil Halfdale was riding with me, we showed up to Warren G house, and this how the night started. The door was open. We walked in the house. Warren G came down talking shit like, oh, man, don't walk in my house, just walk. But at this time, he had a Mexican dude over there. They was training his dogs. Warren G had some pit bulls. The Mexican dude was up there, and they was training the dogs in the house. Okay. So we was there. Warren let us sit down. We was sitting downstairs watching TV. Snoop and him hadn't pulled up yet. Warren G father pulled up, and his sister pulled up. So we sitting in Warren house. Next thing you know, Snoop pulls up. It was Snoop, and Marcus and Kenny, his security. You know who I'm talking about,
I know,
Reg. Yeah. A lot of people, all the shit to be talked about, you never hear about Marcus and Kenny because they really wasn't, death row. They wasn't no gang members. They was just straight, clean cut. That was Snoop's security.
They worked for me, actually, Right Way Protective Services. I don't want to brought them around. They actually were two Inglewood Unified School Police Reserves, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Marcus and Kenny, they was cool. I'm pretty sure they got a story to tell. But so they pulled up, it was just Snoop and them. So we sitting there functioning, we all there partying. So we all know I knew my little brother and all them was in Vegas, and we knew Nate Dogg was in Vegas. Okay. So we watching the fight, and soon after the fight, I get a call from my brother. My brother had been in the room with Nate Dogg. They was in the room, so he told me that Nate had got the call about what happened. So my brother called me and told me what happened. I told everybody in the house, and we turned it to Channel 7 Eyewitness News. I'll never forget. As soon as we turned the news on, it was the black BMW. You know what I'm saying? And then we was just all sitting there just stunned for a minute.
Okay. And
then next thing you know, we sat around for a minute. A couple of phone calls, everybody's phones is ringing. Next thing I know, Marcus and Kenny got Snoop ass up out of there, and they went back to Claremont.
Okay, let's put some clarity on this now, because Warren got a story out there.
Well, yeah, I can't.
And I know you and Warren are still cool, and I ain't here to try to mess up relationships.
Well, I didn't get to hear any interview. Well, so what did Warren say? What is he stating?
All right. Well, we're going to play it.
I heard a horn, bing, 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 honking in front of my house. I looked out the house, and Snoop was outside in a white motherfucking Rolls Royce. Then he had the Nextel back then. Remember the motherfucker? Yeah. He had the motherfucker could go, that whatever it was hitting him all the way from what was going on from Vegas. And then he started getting calls and shit, and they was telling him that Tupac got shot and da-da-da-da-da, this, that, and this. I kicked everybody out. Get the fuck out of here, everybody. Get out of here. And then he took off. That's when he went to Vegas to go see him. And that's when he went out there when he went to the hospital. But if I wouldn't have talked to him and got him to come over to my house, he probably would have been right there in the car with them.
And he pretty much telling us that, and I know you didn't hear it, but we played it for the listeners who haven't heard it.
Okay.
But he was on Drink Champ, and he said that they were at the house and they heard over a radio that Snoop had, a walkie-talkie, got him, and all of the commotion regarding the shooting and the incident in Vegas. And then that's when they got out. Okay.
No. I mean, Warren, my boy, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't no radio. I got a phone call from my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I told them. And then we turned it right to the news. It wasn't no loud radio on because we was all eating and, everybody was chilling, doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't no radio where we could hear what was going on. It was phone calls being made. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And Snoop, matter of fact, I don't even think Snoop even got to no phone because he heard. I don't even know if Snoop had a phone back then. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about a Nextel or you talking about a regular phone, just like a regular phone?
Either one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to be fair, his two security.
He might have had a Nextel because I know Nate had one. That's how I know Nate had a Nextel.
Okay. But not a Death Row Nextel, though. There was.
No. Everybody had their, because me and my brothers, we all had Nextels. You know what I'm saying? So, no, nobody had no direct, like you said, if anybody had Nextels, Death Row Nextels, it was Marcus and Kenny.
That's it. Exactly.
That's the only people that would have had phones like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they wasn't, you couldn't just hear, I don't even know, they might have been standing outside. You know what I'm saying? In front of the house. They wasn't in there. I don't know. Now that I think about it, they might have been outside in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, as far as Snoop having the radio and in contact with somebody down there, no, hell no.
All right, so let's kill this motion. Have you ever heard anything, or you think, or was there any memo put around among y'all Dog Pound guys to not go to Vegas because we getting word or information?
Hell no. I was supposed to go. I forgot why I didn't go. Yeah, that's how my brother and them was out there. My homeboy J Love, my brother, they was out there. Okay. There wasn't none of that. It wasn't none of that.
All right,
We didn't even know. It was just like it was. It would have been a different thing. It was like, oh man, the Death Row niggas in South Side is tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because I fuck with this. The truth be told, I fuck with the South real tough. You know what I'm saying? Now, I knew Big Dre, but I didn't mess with Dre like that. But I knew Dre Daddy.
Yeah, I knew
that's
Daddy
what
was
we,
correct.
that's what we used to fuck with. Cliff used to have a store in Long Beach, so we fucked with Cliff real tough. And then Lil Flossy's cousin was married to Win, rest in peace, Win. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Win was one of the, he was close with them niggas. But as far as that, nah, man, we just knew about that.
The only reason I bring that up is because I was trying to clear the narrative. It wasn't like Snoop Dogg and the Crips
He was
got
just
hands up.
when we got the phone call that night. That nigga was so shook up and spooked. I'm just gonna be real with it. That nigga was shook up like Elvis.
You talking about Snoop?
Yeah.
You talking about Snoop?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so all that he was hell
So
no.
Flossy, you up here telling these lies for Reggie because you trying to cover up for me? How much?
Shit. Hey, Reggie ain't giving me a check, y'all. So I just want y'all to know. Yeah. I ain't getting a
It ain't enough. I'm sure it ain't enough money I can give you to mess up your reputation.
No, hell no. Nigga, I ain't like them other ones. I ain't on all these other shows there. We ain't gonna mention no name, but I ain't for the circus. I ain't in the circus, homie. That's what I ain't.
Hey, right quick. I'm going to cut you off because that's what I do. Because I know I can't make this segment too long. What's going on with Daz and Snoop, man? He been tearing him up. On IG. What's going on, man?
I've been missing it, but I just, I heard it ain't all good. Right now.
I heard, can you just confirm or deny? I heard that Snoop, whenever they have a family event or something like that, he got to hire security to keep Daz away.
Yeah, I heard it. I just put it that way. I heard it from a reliable source. I heard it. So I was I heard it from a reliable source.
I ain't gonna mess up your relationship with them because I know how it goes. Just like I'll be tapping their shields and stuff. I know we all still got love for each other.
It's like this. Like I told you before, when it comes to that issue, you can call me when it comes to that. But all that other room, when it comes to the Long Beach and that Death Row area and all that, you can call me. Yeah, you can call me anytime. And I'm not playing no favoritism. I'm gonna tell you like it was. If I was there, or if I know who was there, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going off of what I heard and this and that. I'm gonna speak on I was there.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard from the horse's mouth. Hey, it don't matter, like I said, because Keefy D motherfucking ass is the one on trial for this shit. We just trying to tell it so y'all know the truth versus the conspiracies.
So, Reggie, I wanted to see, this is kind of a two-part question, but since we last spoke, Diddy got another lawsuit against somebody accusing him. This time it was a girl that was 17 years old. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, but also ask if you had looked at the interviews going on over at Art with Mark Curry and Gene Deal, and if you had any thoughts.
Oh, man, goddamn. John and his Art the Dialogue questions. All right. Actually, man, that was a great find. Great interviews going on over there. In my opinion, as far as the content that the channel is putting out, meaning our questions and the people that he chose to answer and respond to the allegations or to the questions. I think he's doing a hell of a job. My honest take from it is, if it was Reggie saying these things, would y'all be saying that I'm just as responsible? Because the way they explain it, even Mark Curry, who I kind of like, didn't know much about Mark Curry. I just heard him tell that one lie. I hope Suge hears and clear up about the slapping of Puffy at the Jermaine Dupri party. Hope they get into that because I never heard slap, and I know if Suge did slap Puffy as they claim, then it would have been in one of Tupac's songs. Trust me, or it would have been in one of Suge Knight interviews. So hopefully he cleared that up on his collect calls. Or y'all send that question over to Dave Mays and have him respond to that incident. I'm tiptoeing around this subject, but I think Gene Deal and Mark Curry are just as guilty on some of the incidents as Puffy. The way they're explaining how the drinks were made and how they were giving the cocktails to the young ladies to make them feel a certain type of way, you shouldn't be around that. And they want to blame Puffy so bad because of their hatred for Puffy. I don't know if they realizing that they dry snitching on themselves and making themselves sound just as guilty as Puffy and his crew. All right, I know the question John asked really was about the underage thing. Y'all got to understand in the 90s, man, in the 90s, and I've been throwing little jabs out there about certain people that was around Death Row that were sleeping with underage young ladies. And I don't think it's right, still don't think it's right, but it was going down. I'm a child of a 19-year-old man having a son or getting a 17-year-old lady's pregnant. Talking about my mama and daddy. Talking about me. So I get how things were back then. Like I said, but they were married. But it's still. So I understand how that was going on. Not saying it was right or wrong. But, man, it seemed like that was going on around the bad boy camps with the 28, 30-year-old men, 26-year-old man at the time. Because y'all remember this picture too? Y'all forget about it. I know y'all want to remember it. Just like it's a fan taking a picture. No, you don't take pictures with fans when they talking about they had to wipe their feet on Death Row T-shirts as they came in the house and then sitting on Biggie's lap with a marijuana joint in his hand. That's when you partying. And my grandmama used to always tell me, when a woman sat on a man's lap, they having sex usually. And that's Biggie. We're hearing the allegations with Puffy. I think that was going on around there. I think those niggas were some sexual demons, is what I get that was going on around Bad Boy Camp in the 90s. Just from the lawsuits and the statements of two people that was definitely around there as much as they were in the 90s, meaning Gene Deal, Mark Curry. That's my take. I'm going to be honest, and that's going to be my only take that I pretty much have, unless you have a follow-up question about that, because that's some pretty sensitive things going on, and I think it's going to be some more indictments going down, and some arrests needs to be made behind these sexual predators, is what they are. Yep.
Hey Reggie, I was curious. In Suge's podcast episodes and just in general, he seems to have like a pretty big disdain for Russell Simmons. Do you know the history as to why he dislikes him so much and why he always speaks on him?
Well, it goes through a lot, and mainly with Def Jam. I remember one time Russell Simmons shook some roses. I ain't never seen a person get so pissed off by someone sending some roses. And he said, man, you know that faggot motherfucker just sent me some goddamn roses, Reggie? I guess it's pretty much like the story when 50 Cent when he was so mad at Puffy when he said, that motherfucker offered to take me shopping. You know, that's shit we do for bitches, right? And so that ain't why he's mad. That ain't why I understand him to be mad. He's mainly mad and has that disdain for Russell. Number one, I think because he liked his women, his wife at the time, Kimora, and you see how he always shouting her out, even though she was cool with Misa, and that's who Suge really was messing with. And I'll tell y'all a story about that. I remember the last time I saw Kimora and Misa, we were in New York at a strip club in New York, and actually we're not Harlem, the one where it might have been Harlem. It's the one where where Fat Joe and them from, because we was at a strip club out there, and Gotti popped up there, and Kimora and Misa was in the club. They was at the strip club, and Suge was about to pull Misa or Kimora, which one? He was about to pull one of them that night, because I think Misa was married at the time, so it wasn't Misa. He was gonna pull Kimora, and she kept telling him, no, stop, get away. Gotti got a big mouth. He tells everything. And but I tell that story because Suge's dislike for Russell always just behind Warren G. Leor and all of them would try to put out that that Suge wanted to sign Warren G. If Suge wanted to sign Warren G, he would have made it happen. He had every opportunity in the world. I have always heard it was Dr. Dre that didn't want to sign Warren G. He was the one that was hating on Warren, not Suge. But the main reason was because Suge really felt that he was owed a lot of money from publishing, music publishing, because Snoop and Corrupt and all of those dudes, RBX probably, all of them are the ones that wrote most of the stuff, the lyrics on Warren's album. That it was doing pretty well. And Nate Dogg and all of them, man. Because Warren is mainly a beat maker. Just like with Daz. Corrupt wrote most of Daz's lyrics. But Daz was the producer, the beat maker. There's very few people that's like DJ Quick that can write their own music and produce and do or Kanye West. Even Dre. Dre don't write. DOC wrote most of Dre lyrics. But they do their thing as far as producing. So you have that issue. There's very few guys, what I'm trying to say, like the Wyclifs or Kanye's or Quick, that can produce and write their own lyrics. And so Suge really felt that he lost a lot of money, and Russell Simmons and them helped him get cheated out of a lot of money because of, or they should have cut a check to him because he knew that those were his guys that wrote most of the album for Warren G, which we all know saved Def Jam, him, and then later on following up by Montel Jordan, because Def Jam was done, over with, gone. We wouldn't have had no Method Man, Red Man, Jay-Z, because Jay-Z was out on Priority, but it didn't do shit. I know all of y'all be like, oh, Jay-Z was, man, they didn't have nobody to put them out. Gotti and them, and more importantly, Rough Riders, DMX. If it wasn't for Def Jam keeping no doors open. And so that's the disdain. That's what I know, the truth. But I know all of you people that done heard interviews on the internet and interviews going to say something different. But hopefully Dave Mays run back and tell this story, and we'll get the true story from Mr. Knight himself to why he really hates him or have a dislike for Russell. But the things I laid out is what has always been expressed to me by Mr. Knight, and that I know was always an issue. But Russell was always a cool, gentle dude like he is. And I saw he got a spot that he's calling a spot for Snoop Dogg. I don't think Snoop needs that spot yet. But he needs to build a spot over there in Valley for his boy Puffy. I warn Keefy D to take his ass over there. There's no extradition laws over there. So I'm warning you now, Puffy. Take your ass over there. Reggie Prediction. I know Puffy is smart enough, and he probably done already cleaned his houses. But sexual predators, what do they do? And we'd be like, damn, why? They treat their sex tapes like, yeah, remember that song, Me and My Girlfriend, that Pac did? What he was talking about? What was Pac talking about, y'all? And that. Do y'all really know what he was talking about? For those of y'all know what he's talking about, he's talking about a gun, but sexual predators is what hold on to their tapes. And cops know that. So I wouldn't be surprised if some storages or some of Puffy properties be getting raided real soon, because they need to get to those tapes. They get one of those tapes with him with those little people that's been making the accusations. Woo, man. Done. But Puffy the type, he'll blow his brains out, guarantee y'all. Or do like he did on that corkscrew lie, how he did. We know what you did, Puff. Misa told us, nigga, you slit your wrist. He gonna do something stupid like that. Yep.
In Suge's podcast, he talks about Jimmy Iovine telling him that Afeni and a bunch of guys with guns came to him to get Tupac's masters back. Can you speak on that story and what your thoughts were when you heard Suge say it?
I just laugh. That's Suge. That's Mr. Knight. And his salt and pepper. You remember I tell you how Mr. Knight do salt and pepper? That's one of his salt and pepper stories. Some truth to it. Of course not Miss Afeni and them showing up with no guys with guns and all of that. That's all. That ain't salt and pepper. That's fucking hot sauce. So that's his major sauce, major lie going on. But I'll tell y'all the story. Yeah, we allow, as I told y'all on the episode previously, how on the settlement agreement, we allowed them to have the reels, Interscope. They were like the escrow company. They were the ones that we both sides supposedly trust, and we allowed them to hold the reels. And so it was supposed to have been put into a neutral location where Death Row couldn't touch the reels without approval from the estate, and the estate couldn't touch the reels without approval for Death Row. And so I got word from actually Crooked Eye, Darren Vega, and Jim Giddens. They created a group called 7 something. They was some producer group that they made. 777? Yeah. All right. So anyway, they created this production group or producer group, and they went in there and was working on a song, and they came back and told me, yeah, Reg, we did 2 songs on there, and I was like, wait a minute. No, I told y'all, anybody that's gonna be on there, y'all signing that money over to Big Simon. Yeah, Big Simon Music Publishing is the one that's doing that. If y'all know there's anybody else on there, that's what was the production company until the end of time. They was like, no, we went in there, and Molly let us listen to it and all of that. I was like, Molly? What? What y'all talking about? So that's when I find out that they allowed Interscope, allowing Amaru, Molly and them, going in there, getting reels without us knowing about it. So, of course, I go and tell Suge. Suge was like, all right. So we called up there and screamed and hollered and all of that. And as they always do, Jimmy does, how he solve problems, is Jimmy cut checks. He cut a check to make us go away. But in Suge's defense, he's actually 100% correct. They were not supposed to touch that music without his authorization, or me, who was, quasi running things for him. But trust me, y'all right. I didn't make no decisions or no major decisions like that without going and running it by him. And so that's what happened. Afeni didn't bring no Black Panthers or no guys up there to rob Interscope. At Interscope, okay, so Interscope, anybody ever been to Interscope Records? So now they got a vault up there with all the masters and stuff. That's what I be saying. Y'all be listening to this shit that's out. I'll be like, so all Tupac reels, all the reels are setting up at Interscope Records? Come on, y'all. Well, y'all done heard about where they kept them after we got all involved in it, because they allegedly got burnt up in a storage, a facility, right? But even back then, they were still at an archive. I don't even think they were at Pacific Archives anymore. I don't know. That's one thing I never knew where they were at, because Butch Small was the person. I'll be like, hey, we need these songs, Daz or whoever want these songs. Have them at the studio. We at Soundtracks, or we at Paramount, or we at whatever studio today. Have them shipped up there or bring them up there. And so Suge's being factual about they touched the reels and was messing with the reels without our permission, but Afeni did not come up there with no armed guys and rob. And number one, or number two, and more importantly, if they would have came up there, it would have been, all right, well, it would have been more of a kidnap, because he would have had to go and take somebody to the archives to get them, or it would have made them stay there. And trust me, if that would happen to those white folks, it would have been in the media. And Suge would have been suing. Suge, that's all we would have did, was like, we would have sued the shit out of them back then. Y'all wouldn't have been hearing about no story like that in 2023. But that's where I mess up, because I don't know if I'm supposed to be loyal to the truth or loyal to Suge on stories like this that I'm correcting. Starting to battle with myself about that. Yeah.
Reggie, what did you think when Suge said, when he talked about the Tupac reels or the Dre reels or whatever, he says that security gave up the reels to Interscope without him knowing?
Security seemed to have a big role at Death Row, huh? Security, if security can do stuff like that, that security guy had a lot of role of responsibility that's supposed to be a nobody, huh? Let other people on YouTube tell it. He was just a A&R guy. I mean, an assistant, a runner or whatever. But how, man, Suge. Well, number one, I think he kind of cleared it up, in my opinion, later in that conversation, where he stated that he started talking about more of the Tupac stuff, where he goes into a robbery, or where Miss Shakur allegedly supposed to came up there with guys and robbed it, which I'll explain later on in an episode later. But Suge don't know, because, when you're in prison, Suge had other worries and stuff like that. All he did was want to know about, I'll be honest, at that point, how's the family doing? How much money did we get? That's where his head was. It's hard to get him focused. I'm not saying he didn't approve the deals, because on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, David Kenner came up there with a list of stuff to talk about that I sent questions to. And of course, Reggie or David Kenner or Michelet or nobody would have allowed or let 5 years go by without knowing that we had a settlement agreement with the estate, where the Tupac settlement lawsuit got dismissed by both parties, because Death Row sued and they also sued for a settlement of all back royalties and everything that was owed for $3 million and to move forward from that point. And then we had to turn the master reels over to Interscope and let them be our escrow in the agreement, where we couldn't touch the reels of Tupac, and the estate can touch the reels without our permission, which y'all gonna find out some tricky shit later end up happening, but it wasn't no robbery. And even John can contest, because John started working and dealing with it a lot. Death Row still had all of their reels when he talking about, because he made it seem like all the reels was turned over to Jimmy. For whatever reason, he making it seem like that. It wasn't. It was just songs that were Tupac on it. Now, he has a great argument or a point. The only thing after he and I had a conversation about that I heard him spoke on, and he 100% correct, and he did say this to me, was, Reg, you shouldn't have turned over songs that had OFTB and Tupac on it. You shouldn't have turned over songs that had Nate Dogg and Tupac on it. You shouldn't have had songs that had so-and-so on it. Because he said those were the favor for the favors, where Tupac was the side artist and not the main artist. He was correct right there. Where Reg, when I made the agreement, and in order to get that $3 million that we got from Interscope advance, because we got a $3 million advancement, and we also, and Afeni and them got a $3 million advancement. What y'all learned about Death Row and Interscope's relationship was Interscope fronted everything. They paid for everything for us up front, but they got their money back before they cut a royalty check or a leftover check. They did accounting balance sheets and they said, well, y'all spent this amount of money, and this is how much left over. This is what we made. So I say all that to say, we got a $3 million check from them up front to live off of. And they also, during that time, advanced Afeni $3 million to settle the settlement for Tupac back royalties. But as Suge always saying, and it's unfortunate that he doesn't explain this part better, every motherfucking thing that was paid out by him, by Interscope, he was responsible for. It came off of the sales of albums that was put out with that name Death Row on the back. And so, yeah, Suge is putting a little extra on it when he's saying that all of the music was turned over to Interscope. That's unfactual. I can show y'all pictures, lists. I can show y'all stuff in the archives where everybody knows Pacific Archives held all of our music. How was I able to do stuff with the Chronic, the whole Hopper and all of that stuff I tried with Doobie and the other songs, Dead Man Walking album, the 2000, the Dog Pound 2000 album. We wouldn't have been able to do stuff like that if we didn't still have them in our possession in the archives. So that's outright lie. There ain't no salt and pepper on this one. Suge just lying, or he's mistaken. And I think he did kind of clear it up by explaining to us and going more in detail about the Tupac songs, which were turned over to Interscope. And I may have fucked up by giving songs that had side artists on it that wasn't just Tupac alone. Because that's all Suge wanted to give up, was just songs that were just Tupac alone on the albums. On the songs. Did that answer your question, John?
Yeah, but I can already tell what people are going to say in the comments, so I want to go back to you saying that Suge didn't really care about the Tupac masters because he had other things on his mind, that he was worried about how the family and all that was doing.
Well, I ain't just talking about the Tupac masters.
Okay. In the comments is the first thing they're going to say is the biggest asset that Death Row had were the Tupac recordings. So you're telling me that Suge didn't care or ask what was going on with him?
Well, to be honest, what Suge cared about was making sure that the paperwork and stuff was done and that the check that was promised was on his way. Meaning, we settle this, the lawsuit is out of the courts, and he got $3 million coming. That's because they were holding up the royalties from everything, the Machiavelli, the Christmas album, everything that was, due to him was being held up because everything was in limbo, and they were dismissing us, and that's when we got our masters from them after that. That's when, after they distribute, I think the last album was the Dogfather and Lady of Rage albums and the Machiavelli albums. We were done with them during that time period. And only in business with them on Tupac stuff. And so that's what happened, and that's where his head and his mind frame was, all right, everything's done. I got my masters. Let me take it over to Priority, get a deal, help get Brian up here so we can get, some distribution, some monthly income, which it went from 1.5 million to 350,000 a month. But he made that deal happen, and we were free and clear and had all his masters, which nobody was able to do back in the day. That was one of Prince's big issues that, he wanted to do with Time Warner and Warner. And that's why he gave up his name and became a symbol for a while, or a symbol. So, yeah, that's what happened. And that's where Suge's mind frame went from, all right, I ain't fucking with Interscope no more with this stuff. Let me go over to my boy Brian at Priority Records. And he made a deal happen with him.
Okay. And that's what I was going to ask you next, Reggie, is the Interscope Death Row breakup. In Suge's podcast, he makes it like Jimmy contacted him while he was in prison and said, hey, we're not going to distribute you anymore. Which sounds odd, but I just wanted to legitimately get your take, because I don't remember off the top of my head, to be honest, what caused the split, or what was the reason for the split, or who initiated the split between Interscope distributing Death Row stuff. Like, was it Interscope, so quote unquote, dropping Death Row, or was it Suge and Death Row saying, I don't want to work with them anymore?
Yeah. I heard Suge take on it. And I know y'all get mad when I rewrite his take, but I'm just going to throw this out. And hopefully Suge will remember and be like, okay, yeah, that is true. Suge had a major clause when Suge had just signed a big contract with Universal. Or I think they were MCA at the time. With the company, whatever company that Edgar Bronfman was running. And that took over. Where he was getting $20 million guaranteed a year, and I think his monthly was like 1.5 million, which came up to that $20 million, which was guaranteed for his operation expense. And Suge got that money, that deal done when we came back from Paris. I remember we flew in straight from Paris to New York for him to execute and finalize that deal. So it was whenever that hung jury video, the first part was done. When we did in Paris. But I don't remember the date. But for some reason, I think it was sometime in July or August that this happened of 1996. So the only hang up in that contract was, and I remember Suge laughing to me, like, man, Reg, they up there holding up my money and holding up this deal because they scared to ask me that if I get in trouble, if I catch a felony or, get arrested, go to prison, that they don't want to be in business with me anymore because they've been in corporation. I told them, man, run that deal. If that's what's holding us up, I'll sign that. So they used that clause to get out of the contract, where they could void the contract. because they could have made anybody. That's why initially Suge had this guy named Paul Marshall, this attorney named Paul Marshall, trying to find. I mean, we hired this guy because everybody only know about the time that Reggie or Michelet or Norris was in charge. But for about 2 weeks, we had this other guy that Paul Marshall and Michelet had met with and agreed to hire. And he's a good dude. I always liked him. His name was Miller London. He was the editor and the owner of Urban Network magazine. And Miller London was coming to be the face of Death Row. Now, you know, Suge always had a plan like, that nigga just gonna be a face. You know, he ain't gonna be able to make no decisions. Reg, we got this, but he had them hire Miller London. And Miller London came in there and started meeting with artists and stuff. And I remember Miller London came to me and handed me the keys to the car because we gave him a company car. He said, Red, I can't do this. And he quit within 2 weeks. I think he got one check. He was getting $12,000 a month. And a car was his salary. And he's like, I can't do this job. I can't do this. And he quit. So I'm saying that to say, so that was his game plan to try to put somebody that was in the business responsible to be the face of the company. But they had this clause that if Suge wasn't in charge, they can get out of the contract. And they elected to get out of the contract because of Suge's arrest and his conviction. Well, once he got that conviction, is when we started, they put us on notice that they were no longer going to honor the agreement that he had just signed. And so that's what happened. And that's when, you know, Snoop and everybody started getting mad, and that started happening like sometime in 97, the end of 97 or something like that. Because that's when the cuts stopped getting checked. And that's what people didn't understand. And I think Suge, by not calling in Snoop and Nate Dogg and people like that were still left there and telling them that, hey, the reason why your check's not getting cut because Interscope bailed on us and we don't have a distribution deal. I'm not getting this $1.5 million a month, where he was out there trying to make it happen and getting the deal with Priority and all of that, to where people got upset and then started doing the things that they did in reaction to not getting their check for a month or two. And but to be honest, the reason why Interscope was able, they probably been wanting to do it because they had got Dre and they thought Dre was going to make the home runs, which as Suge will tell you, Dre flopped for the first 3 or 4 years until that white boy came and saved him. He was doing bad. He had to downside houses and everything. Until M came and did what he did for them. So, that's one of those things where I keep telling y'all, I feel bad for putting things out there because this is Suge's story to tell. But if y'all want the truth, y'all can continue to come and listen to me. If y'all just want to hear Suge version, then y'all probably need to stop listening to me, because I'm going to tell the good and the bad, where that's the real reason. It ain't because they didn't want people cussing and all of that, like he said. It was just because they used a clause and they wanted out of Death Row business because they were doing other home runs at the time. They had 9 Inch Nails, they had Beck, Dre wasn't doing it yet, but they had Eve, they had Maya, they had Kirk Franklin. Everybody forget about that Stump record. They had Teddy Riley and No Diggity, No Doubt. They had other stuff that were doing it for them, and they knew that they still had Tupac. And so the only asset that they were really losing was Snoop. Because if you're keeping it real, that's all we really had. Nate Dogg was great as a side artist, but he was not an artist that could carry an album by himself, as y'all saw. But put that nigga on a hook. I still love Nate Dogg singing on hooks to this day.
Okay, Reggie. One thing that stood out to me about Suge's latest podcast episode was he talked about a visit that he got from Afeni where she told him, according to him, that Jimmy Iovine and them had told Suge that he was responsible, or told Afeni that Suge was responsible for Tupac's passing. Are you aware of any such visit, and were you there if it did happen?
Of course, yeah. I coordinated that visit with Miss Afeni, and I think I talked about this visit before with you guys probably on a live stream. Don't remember doing it on a camera interview. But yes, she did come up there. And this is later. This is once the lawsuit had been settled. This is like in, I think, 99, to be honest. I think we had already put out Still I Rise. And I think The Greatest Hit had already been put out. So I think it was something dealing with Until the End of Time. And it was mainly about some music things, some things where it was getting hectic again between myself and Tom Wally. And, anything that I said or did was, everybody knew was pretty much coming from Suge's opinion. And so I think me and Jimmy talked and was just like, hey, let's just let them go up there. Let's get them up there to talk to each other and work it out themselves. And they did. They both agreed to meet with each other. And Afeni came up there and they talked. Now, I'm not going to say they were up there hugging and smiling and kumbaya and all of that. It wasn't that type of meeting. But it was more of a respect type of meeting, or a get things off their chest style meeting. And they had words where both of them spoke from the heart and were saying things, and they pretty much was talking among themselves. I would hear things over because you sit in the visiting room is a table. I know y'all thinking it's like a glass and everybody behind the glass, but once you get in the state pens, it's a table that seats 5 people. It's like a white table, a plastic table, and it has 5 chairs around it. So we all could be in earshots of each other, but you can also just talk where you're just talking to another person and can really hear what the other people saying. And so they were talking like that and having a conversation where like I said, so I can't, and I'm not going to sit up here and say that she didn't say that. He has never said to me or when she walked out and left, and the reason why she left, it wasn't because of the time expanded. It was because she had a flight that she had to get to, and she had a car service out there, and she had to get back to the airport because she flew into Sacramento and went to Ione. It wasn't the prison up in St. Louis Obispo that she visited him at. And so that's why I know the visit happened, after our houses and stuff got raided, because that's when they moved him from CMC to Ione. They put him behind the electric fence. And so she came up there visiting. He never, ever said to me, hey, man, she's the only reason she's been mad, Reg, or why she's so mad is because they're accusing me or you or anybody that having anything to do with the death of Tupac. I never heard that. He never said that. So, but I can't say that didn't come up. I had never heard that she felt that way, or had that, or was told that. I was always been told that, quite the opposite, that they knew the truth and all of that. I know the daddy is over there pushing that government bullshit again, and death row in the government, but what you expect from I'll just say Panther. They hate the government. They hate the United States government. They need to move their ass back to Africa, in my opinion. But that's another story. or Cuba somewhere. But yeah, I know every time I call and ask Amaru, Tom Wally, Amaru to me was just Dina LaPote, Tom Wally, Donald David, Miss Shakur, of course, the boss, and Molly, Tom Wally, Dina LaPote, Donald David. Every time I called to ask them for something, whoever I had to talk to, they made happen. If she had any issues or stuff like that with us, she didn't have to license us or allow us, even though they were our songs, but we had to get permission. That was the agreement. She wouldn't have allowed us to put those two songs on Two Gangsta for Radio that we put on there. The two songs that we put on Chronic 2000. She wouldn't allow us to have the realest and unconditional or get a budget. I don't know if she, read or understood the concept or even liked the concept. But she had to approve, along with us, the budget for Unconditional Love video. Y'all remember that video, All About You? I pulled off Snoop and put Top Dog in that video. She would not, allow that if she had issues or felt that way about us. So I don't recall or know of an issue until later on, once the album or once we got over the Koch Entertainment, and Suge was trying to do something with some old, with the stuff off of All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli, which she had no control over. That wasn't included in the agreement, and where she felt that she will still own like $500,000 or something like that in royalties at that point, which we eventually got worked out. They eventually got worked out, but that's the only time of an issue, and I was gone by then. And I think that happened in like 2003 or 2004, something like that, that things became an issue with Afeni, Miss Shakur. So it's hard for me to comment on that question, and I'll best just leave that one alone, to be honest, because for the most part, they left, and whatever she came up there for, that Jimmy and I wanted her to do, and her and Suge to do the workout, it happened because we was able to continue and put out Until the End of Time album. So, yeah.
Okay. One of the more surprising things that happened in the last week was during Suge's podcast, Dave Mays informed Suge that Snoop had called him and told him that Suge didn't pay for my murder case, Jimmy Iovine did, and that David Kenner didn't help me because of Suge. David Kenner did it as a favor to Michael Harris. I know we've talked in length about how Snoop should be grateful for Suge for all he did during that situation. What were your thoughts when you heard when you heard Snoop saying that basically none of it had to do with Suge?
Well, like Suge said, they only had one song out there. They had no relationships with Snoop. So trust me, if Dre and Suge wouldn't have wanted that to happen, and Dre pretty much just let Suge control all the business and the dealings and dealing with people, he would just want to be in the studio, being musically creative. But if one of them would have went to Jimmy and objected to anything, it wouldn't have happened. As I tried to explain to y'all, and I wish Suge gets more in detail with this, is anything that, and I can understand why Snoop believed that and feel that way. Because yes, Interscope cut the check for everything. Gobi just told you on the interview where he went to Interscope and they cut the check for the music video. Yes, that's how it happened. That was Suge. That was the beauty of Suge deal, where he gave up additional 30% because he had a 50-50 deal, where Master P, y'all know, got that 80-20 deal. But Master P had to cut his own checks. He had to pay for his own things. He had to pay for everything. Suge deal was y'all pay for everything. Everything. Anything we agreed upon and I want done, y'all pay for. And then we put the stuff out, and then after everything's paid for, we split 50-50 profits. That was Suge's deal. So yeah, Interscope cut the check and everything, but Suge had to, one, he was responsible for it. If Snoop would have died or not did anything or flopped, Suge would still been on in an unrecoupment status with them and had to come up with that money. So that's all that's been said and done. Suge just didn't explain that well because he was caught off guard. One, they caught him off guard. I can tell the way Suge reaction because he came very, very defensive then that way, where he started attacking David Kenner, he started attacking Harry-O, he started attacking Snoop. So please, Dave, if you have some information like that, please talk to Suge about that off camera if you didn't. Because it sure appeared to me, from somebody that I've been knowing for over 50 years, that he was caught off guard. And he was like, got in defensive mode when you brought those subjects up, where if he would have known about it, he would have thought better and been more, had a better response than he did, other than doing like I do, become defensive. And he would have been like, okay, well, yeah, Interscope cuts the check because that's what they do for me. They cut checks for everything, but I got to approve it. If I would have told them don't cut the check, it wouldn't have happened. So that's what happened. That's what I caught from it. That's what I know that happened. And like Suge has always said, he even said before this interview, that Interscope and Jimmy and them advised them not to make that investment, not to put that money up. And he was like, no, I believe in this dude. I believe we're going to get our money back. Because I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like Suge did it like he did for Pac. You know, all the love and loving him and all of that. They ain't never had a relationship like that. It was always business among them. Where I think Pac and Suge relationship was different. Where Suge generally started loving Pac. But, yeah, I mean, trust me, Suge gonna recap that situation. He's gonna talk about that situation again because Dave hit him off guard on that, and he gonna have a better response to that. And it's simple. Yeah, they pay for everything. That's what they do. That was our arrangement. After the Chronic, y'all pay for everything that we agree upon, and then we recoup the money, and then y'all cut me my royalty check for the balance. So, yeah, that's what happened.
Did you catch where Suge was talking about how Miss LA was telling him that Interscope would try to get to Dre and say, oh, just go straight with us, and you don't need to be with them, you don't need to be tough and cursing and all that stuff. Was it because I know you've always talked about Miss LA having a part in all this? What were your thoughts when you heard Suge say that?
Oh, I've been telling y'all that that's where he was getting this information from, that she was pillow talking and giving him heads up of what was going on. And, like I said, it was unfortunate, and I'm sure that's why Dre treated her the way he did, because once he found out what was going on, but that's what Suge was getting heads up from, and yeah, it's been always factual. So yeah, Miss Chalet has started pillow talking to Suge, and so yeah, that's what happened, and he's been factual, 100% accurate when he said Miss Chalet was giving him heads up and giving him warnings. So yes, that's factual.
Do you think though that it's true what Michelet said? Because I know in the Defiant Ones, Jimmy Iovine, when he was being interviewed, they asked him about, you know, Dre leaving or whatever, and he says that, you know, Dre came to him and said he wanted to leave, and the Jimmy was like, no, it's like the Beatles, you keep them together. Like there has to be a way for this to be worked out, and eventually, you know, they didn't work it out. But my question to you is, do you believe what Michelet was telling Suge was the truth, or do you feel like it was exaggerated or lied about?
No, I don't think she was lying. I think we maybe mixing time periods and stuff like that up. I think she was getting that information from Dre, and Dre was expressing those feelings to her. But I think we all have the time periods from all the information that's out there kind of scattered or disordered or whatever. But I believe at one point Jimmy felt that way, that he didn't want them to break up. But as he saw it getting bad, because there's also an interview out there where he said Suge came talking about he gonna kill Dre or something, and that's when he knew and realized that he had to do something. But yeah, unfortunately, Suge was getting that information. I know and I understand where you're going is somehow when you get information second and third handed, it don't always come out the way that it factually or the way it was actually meant. But I don't believe Miss Chalet was coming back being vindictive or vicious, other than being disloyal to Dre. In a relationship with, or the mother of one of your kids' child. Did I say that right? The father of one of your kids' child. She was being disloyal that way, but I don't think she's being malicious. I think she was telling it as she was getting it, and I just think we just got timelines and stuff like that and mixed up. But Suge never really wanted this breakup. He played into that. Our boy Tupac was pointing out things to Suge that I don't think that Suge was catching or understanding, about how Dre was not right, coming to work like he should, which Suge didn't care. He had Quick and other people that were doing stuff for him. But mainly, the Dog Pound, y'all don't know, that's why that album got pushed back a while, because Dre was taking a long time putting his final touches and approvals on the Dog Pound album. So Dre was dragging his feet, but Tupac is the one that said, hey, this ain't how it's supposed to be going down. This, why is he at court? Why didn't he want to get on the stand and testify and help Snoop out? Tupac was very vocal on that and was bringing that to Suge's attention and made people understand. And then Suge also hearing these things, when he sneaking off to Malibu or whatever and laying up in those nice expensive hotel. And Minnie Mouse is whispering in his ear. And then it started this, it went from there. So it's unfortunate what happened. One thing I did hear that none of us have ever heard, and not even me, I have never even said that or heard that Dre did get a parting gift. I think he might gonna clear that one up. I'd love to hear his response to that, where he said something about Dre left with $2 million and nothing else. I know Suge didn't cut him no check for $2 million. So I don't know if he was talking about because he was able to leave with that studio, where he said that he got the $1 million from. But I never have heard that Dre left the company with $2 million and walked away. But Suge did say that, and if Suge said it, and that's what he meant, then that's what it was.
Do you know if when Dre left Death Row, if Suge retained his management commission off of Dre, the 30% that he talked about?
Well, he never got it, but he has always been talking about it. I can honestly say Suge has been hollering that. I'll be honest, I never heard a fee of 20 or 30%, but I always assumed 20%. But he has been hollering or saying that he has a lifetime management agreement on Dr. Dre, which, how can he do that? I know Howard King and Fox and Sandy and Peter Lopez and all of them wouldn't have signed no agreement with David Kenner, on the exit agreement where, yeah, you can leave, but I'm going to always have this management deal. I think Suge's like me. Well, we didn't talk about it, and it wasn't put in the paperwork, then it's still there. Yeah. I mean, how you going to have a partner where you're getting 50-50 with, and then you're getting 20% of that 50%? I don't know, but I don't know. I think that's another one of Suge. But, hey, I'm not going to sit there and mess it up and put nothing in nobody's hands. But I have heard him always been speaking on that, and I do believe that's something where he truly, truly believed. But this is what y'all got to remember, and this is unfortunately what Suge got to remember or learn or know. When you go through a bankruptcy and you don't declare something or talk about it, everything that you think you owned or you didn't declare or didn't get worked out in the bankruptcy court, you lose. Bankruptcy court is like a delete button where everything just gets deleted eventually, or the goal. And if he did have an agreement back then with him, just like our agreement, everybody always think Corrupt left and he got beat up. Well, Corrupt didn't get off of Death Row and beat Death Row. The Corrupt contract got void because he filed for bankruptcy. And when you file for bankruptcy, everything gets void. And so I just hated it a little bit. Said I wasn't going to do that on Suge anymore. But I keep telling y'all, it's not hate. It's if you want the truth, you come here. If you just want to hear fairy tales and stories or people beliefs, then I may not be for you. And anybody knows anything about bankruptcy, y'all know what I just said. It's kind of factual. Yeah.
Another thing that Suge mentioned that I wanted to get clarity on, which I think in a previous segment you spoke on it about bankruptcy, but why do you think Suge's under the impression that he retained the merchandising rights to Death Row, which he said?
Damn. What it is there's a company called Death Row Inc. and Death Row LLC. Suge, I don't know if he knowingly did this or smartly did this or whatever. One of them is in bankruptcy. One of them never got a bankruptcy filing done, and he attempted and got reactivated under someone else's name that's very close and dear to him. And so, yeah, that's what he's got. That's what he's banking on. that the company that they think or that was put in bankruptcy was, but this one particular company that he still owns and have control over wasn't. Yeah.
Do you have any feelings about how the podcast ended in episode 6, where Suge said to Dave Mays that Snoop and them are probably going to intimidate him and try to mess with him, but not to worry about it? Did you hear that? And did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I believe, just like you get, John, when bitch-ass niggas from the mob, supposedly area, that grew up in other neighborhoods, and now that they 50-some years old, trying to claim the mob area, and niggas that didn't really grew up over there ain't been walking that sandbox since they were in the 2nd and 3rd grade, knows the niggas, where they came from and where they been. How they be calling and intimidating. Oh, why you messing with the police? Y'all the police channel. Y'all this, y'all that. You know how they be saying all of that stuff. Oh, y'all there trying to get everybody in jail and all of that. Well, I think that's what people do, because they don't come at you because they know you know the real. They know you'll expose all your bullshit if you come at them publicly. So they send little niggas that busters from other neighborhoods or that was on Similac when you was walking around and being around there or still in their daddy nutsacks. They send them to say stuff because they don't know. Or they think you don't know nothing on them, or you can't do nothing on them to expose how much of the hole they really were growing up. And so they send people at you like that. And so they call you and try to intimidate you. And so I think Suge was just such a sure David Mays that, hey man, don't let niggas attack you. Don't turn on me. I decided to do this with you. I'm riding with you. Let's ride till the reels fall off. You know, I noticed Dave Mays put up something giving shout out to Snoop Dogg. What he's going to learn with Suge is you can't play both sides of the fence. As far as you got to be either loyal to him or loyal to that one, because he's going to make it hard for you, real hard. And it's going to be hard for you when you can trying to be loyal to two people or two different entities or two different sides. You just got to have to be loyal to those people and don't mess with him, or be loyal to him. And he's pretty much telling Dave, pick a side. I'm riding with you. So hopefully you'll ride with me. But that's what I got from that ending. And that's what I caught. And I also caught the words that he used, that I used a lot, to let me know that he's listening. Ball a ball, strike a strike. Yeah, Reg, catch shit. But you my brother, gonna always be.
I saw a video on YouTube, a Snoopy Badazz video, where he says that Timmy checked you or somebody checked you or whatever. It was like a reel that this guy did. No one's really viewed it, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, you can play it for him. Give him some exposure, because that's why he did it. He needs some exposure. All right. But I'm not going to even tap at him because he's a little boy. I don't even know him. I hear he's from Reno Valley or somewhere. I know he snitched on some Mexican dudes and got them in the penitentiary for the rest of their life. But I don't know why all of these confirmed rat snitches always want to try to get views off of Reggie Wright. Timmy Rue will never call. Matter of fact, here's the last communication I had from Timmy Rue. You can put this text up. You see what he said in there? I love you, Reg. I'm always going to love with you. I get mad at you because you chose the wrong side of people from our neighborhood. I ain't going to tell you who he talking about, but I know who he talking about. But he said, but I still got love for you, and I still love you. That's what his text say. That's what it meant. But I'm going to still tap at you, Timmy, because I told you, I asked you, you need to clear up until you get up on air and clarify and check this little boy, this little broke motherfucker that ain't got a car. Yeah. You living off of, I guess you must have low self-esteem or something like that to be riding around with you, taking care of the traveling nurse, Angel. I don't even know why you would deal with call yourself manager and letting this dude pay for, you paying for all this stuff for him. But I can't let you speak on my name. Matter of fact, Home Styles told me, I know he claiming looters now, but he told me he gonna slap you. He told me, because he's in solidarity with my boy, Lil C-Style. He told me, man, Reg, when I get home, because I'm on my way home, I will be home this month. He said, I'm gonna slap the taste out of his mouth for you. I was like, no, I don't need that. I ain't about that no more. Don't do that for me. Do that because he disrespecting Hollywood. But you gonna get mad at Reg because Timmy got word? And correct me, and Timmy, you speak on this if you didn't. If the niggas, the older dudes from the mob say, you bring that little bitch ass nigga over in your neighborhood, in the mob neighborhood again, they gonna rob you. If I'm lying, Timmy Rue call me or get on that nigga IG and tell me I'm lying. I bet you won't. Go do a walk around in the mob if I'm lying. Snoopy bitch ass. That's your name. But man, I don't know nothing about you. I hear you, like I said, a snitch from Moreno Valley or somewhere. How Hollywood letting you claim that hood, for the life of me, don't know. But Red got, well, been knowing niggas from over there 50 years, over 50 years. But I was in that payment actively for 30. Know everybody, how I can tell you who lives where, who's where, know everybody in that area. So Timmy knows he can't call himself checking me over you. He wouldn't do that. We go way back. And Timmy definitely don't want me telling no stories. Definitely, I know he don't. Because that Ace story would be funny as a motherfucker if I tell it. Don't make me tell it. You know who Ace is. Snoopy Badazz. Don't try to get views off of me, dawg. You too broke for that. Don't do that. Play with somebody else. Play with Wack 100. He like to play. Go play with him. But don't get mad at me because you got banned from coming in the mob. Because if I really want to play, nigga, please. Don't play with me. Boy. Little boy.